A lot of these umbrella-style houses around the island, and then somebody realized that what was actually happening with this particular design was that the hot air was being trapped in the eaves of the house, and when the windows were opened up, the hot air came rushing right into the building. It's still a nice house design. It just doesn't work the way that they had thought that it was going to. This is Addie over here. Hi, Addie. Eddie's getting married in about 3 weeks. Now, as we're going around the island, you're going to notice that we paint the ceilings on our island houses blue. Oh, this is Angus coming around the corner. Hey, Angus. And across the street over there, who's over there? It looks like Alec and Mario, neighborhood kids. Xander in a school uniform, they must have sprung him early. The kids from Mary Immaculate are just the cutest kids on the planet. Now, look for the blue painted porch ceiling. And I'll be telling you why we do something like that in just a bit. Another thing to look for are painted up vehicles. Cars, trucks, scooters, bicycles. We paint them, decorate them, stick conch shells all over them. I'll give you a Conch cruiser alert when I see a good one. And I know there's been, earlier today, there were 2 good ones on the route that we taking today. Over here on the left is the Thomas Thompson family home. They were active in a lot of businesses on the island. Built the schooner Western Union, our flagship. Put the Conch cruiser alert there on the left corner. Over on the right is the driveway of Gumbo Limbo tree. It's got all kinds of red peeling bark on it, though, that gives that tree a nickname. We call trees with red peeling bark tourist trees. And coming over the top of the train here from the left, another member of the ficus family, a big old rubber tree. There's another weird tree over here on the left corner. This one is a traveler's palm. And probably in the interest of total disclosure, I should tell you, this is not a palm at all. It's a member of the same family that has bananas in it. In fact, I'll try to show you some banana plants. Where did I see some? Oh, I know where some. And I'll show you. You can see how similar the leaves are. And we've always had a real strong military presence here on our island. We're remotely located. We have natural deep water harbors. The property that's on our left here at one time was an army post. It's now housing primarily for the Coast Guard. This is an area of the island called Peary Court. The big presence on the island has long been the U.S. Navy. The Navy was here originally chasing pirates. They didn't have a lot of money. The ships were too big, pretty shallow waters. It wasn't until 1923 that we got, or 1823, we got a fleet of very small ships under the command of Commodore David Porter. He was able to chase those pirates into the shallow water and get rid of all of them. Over here on our left is the harbor. Excuse me. This was built in 1900. It's the last wooden federal building ever constructed on the island. Originally it housed a group that was called the Island City Rifles, which is like the National Guard unit. It now houses studio space for local artists. Over on our left, mahogany trees stood guard for many, many years over a military burial ground. Bodies were buried there in the 1880s, mainly victims of disease. In the 1920s, they moved those bodies to the Pensacola area. However, when they started work on they discovered skeletons and some additional bones and rededicated that property as a military burial ground. Now, when we're making our way around the island, you're going to notice blue ceilings, painted up vehicles. You're also going to see how very close together the island houses are. What you are not going to be able to see from the roads we can get down in the train is that there are additional houses in the centers of many of these blocks which are accessible by lanes that are even narrower than some of the roads that we're going to be going down today. A lot of these houses were built by ship's carpenters. They weren't really trained architects, but they did a nice job combining styles they've seen around the world. Over here on our right, we've got a bright bush. This is a bougainvillea, and this stuff comes in about 50 bazillion different colors. The color stuff's not the flower, though. The flower's a little white blossom in the middle of the colored bract. You might be able to see it more clearly here on the left, in that color. Now those little peachy colored flowers, those are hibiscus. Notice these tin roofs. One reason that we put the tin roofs on is to collect rainwater. We had no municipal water system on our island until 1940 when the Navy brought the pipeline in we're using yet today. Every family was responsible for their own water system until then. And just starting to blossom out over here on our right, we've got some frangipani just coming out of their ugly duckling stage. And the taller bushes here on our left are oleander, both the pink and the white. Another reason why we put tin roofs on our island houses is because of fire. On an island that has this many wooden structures this close together, fire's been a constant problem. 1886, we had the worst fire in our city's history. It burned through the downtown residential and commercial area, and when they rebuilt, they put the tin roofs on, hoping to retard the spread of flame from building to building. Across the street, you'll see a blue flag. It's kind of wadded up a little bit there, but that's the flag of the Conch Republic, another name for Key West. Lots more bougainvillea over here on our right, on our left, some more hibiscus, little purple flowers, or lantana. Well, here's the banana. And see how similar those leaves are to the ones I showed you on, and look at the bananas up there, too. Now, underneath that is a potted up key lime tree, and I do hope you're planning to try something made of key limes while you're down here. My current favorite thing is a piece of frozen key lime pie on a stick dipped in chocolate. Pretty flowers here on the left corner are called lantana. I have a quiet area here. I'll be back with you as soon as I get the train to the stoplight on the next corner. That our island is about twice the size that it used to be. The reason for the big growth spurt is that almost everything from right about here and all the way out to the left to the Cowkey Channel that separates us from the next island up the road is all built on fill material dredged from the ocean bottom when they enlarged the harbor. And they spread that material, which is called marl, in the wetlands. They created new land when they did it. Well, they don't do it anymore because now they realize what a terrible environmental thing that is. The island might become larger now or because of mangroves. We've got some here on our left that grow right into the salt water. They have a very tangled up root system. Debris floats by on the tide. It's caught up. We're going to end up with a new shoreline over here. Maybe an island. It'll be about 200 years from now. Come on back, take my tour. We'll see what actually did happen. Now here on our left we have a statue that honors Jose Marti, and he was a liberty apostle. He fought very hard for Cuba's freedom from Spain, and he used to speak on the island to raise money. He was a poet. He wrote the poem that became the song Guantanamera. His bust is located here in Bayview Park, which is one of the largest of the city's parks, got all the stuff in it, basketball courts, tennis courts. In the early morning, you'll see a lot of pretty birds here, egrets and ibis. What you won't see in this park, or anywhere on the island for that matter, are squirrels. We have no squirrels on the island of Key West. We have squirrely people, which is not quite the same thing. Now, the property for the park was all purchased from one man. His name will become familiar to you as we continue the tour. His name was Eduardo Gatto. He was a very wealthy cigar manufacturer. He sold the property to the city in 1921, and the city decided they didn't want his house.